kind of the important thing to keep in mind with the LEL levels is that the sensor that's attached to the VEU, when I always tried to hammer on this when I went out and did trainings, is that number that's showing on the sensor is not what we're pulling from the ground. The number on the sensor is what we're emitting into atmosphere. And it's pretty close to real time. What that sensor is doing is taking snapshots of the percentage of gas that we're emitting into atmosphere. So at 35%, we've actually increased it from 25 to 35%. I think we did that maybe 5 or so years ago. So all the units are at a 35% low alarm level, and then the 50% LEL shutoff stays the same. But the important thing to keep in mind is that, I used to get questions all the time, which is, if we're only emitting, the sensor is showing 5% LEL, we're only pulling 5% LEL. That couldn't be further from the truth. The biggest thing to keep in mind is that you have an 850 CFM essentially compressor. It's a blower inside that VEU. So for point of reference, the typical PTOs on the crew trucks is 125 CFM. So you're looking at several times the amount of cubic feet per minute flowing through that unit, as opposed to the amount of flow that a Venturi might be able to put out, for instance. So the amount of air that we're able to induce with that gas is able to keep those levels down to the point where they stay under that 35% LEL threshold, and we can still suck gas out of the ground faster than really any other method. So that's always the one that I want to point out, is keep in mind that that sensor is designed to keep you guys safe and to keep what you're emitting into atmosphere safe. That's why it's crucial during the entire process that you're still using your CGIs. Those CGIs are going to, that's typically, for most of you guys, it's part of your procedures, but those CGIs are monitoring what's going on the ground, not necessarily what we're emitting in the atmosphere. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's one of the big things that I always try to touch on with everybody, is that the sensor is there for a reason. It's designed to help. And the utilities that get really good at using those VEUs by articulating that bypass valve or turning probes on and off are the ones that are able to stay under that 35% threshold and really get the gas out fast.